These Reddit stories are guaranteed to make you feel good about your own life. Hello and welcome to r/Ella. My name's Ella and today we're going to be reading some interesting cheating Reddit stories. Before we dive right into these insane stories, I do just want to mention I'm sorry for missing uploads last week. I fell from the top to the bottom of my stairs, got a concussion, sprained my shoulder, and then caught COVID. So I couldn't film, but I'm so excited to be back, and I'm not really 100% better, but I really want to read these stories, so let's just get into it. This first one's coming from Trueoffmychest, and it is titled, "My wife is dead. The best Christmas present that I could have gotten." At the beginning of 2022, I caught my wife having an affair with one of her exes. Our marriage wasn't perfect. I was not the perfect husband, I will admit, but I did my best. I put effort into the entire 5 years we were together. I put all into my relationship. Her, I could not say the same. I was forced to confront the reality of who she truly was shortly after I caught her. She illegally evicted me from our shared home, lied to the police to try and get me arrested, tried to get me fired from my job, and tried to turn all of my friends against me. Some of these succeeded, while others did not. She made my life a living hell from the day I asked for a divorce, and she planted her heels into the ground over our separation to try and drain all of my finances and emotional strength from me. The only upside is that we have no kids for her to use as weapons, but I soon found out that her policy of strict birth control with me did not extend to her suitor, as he got her pregnant 5 months ago. I thought that maybe this would help speed things along in the divorce, but it only rallied her in her effort to destroy me. On Christmas Eve, my wife and her suitor went to a party where both of them got drunk. I find this terrible, as all of her friends knew that she was pregnant as well. Her suitor drove them home, a mistake that would cost them both their lives. In the state that I live in, our divorce is now considered to never have even happened. I will be able to claim her life insurance policy for myself and move back into our home. Her parents called me up yesterday distraught, acting as if the last year had never happened, and offered their full support to my funeral preparations for her. My confusion here was beyond belief. But the apple does not fall far from the tree when it comes to my wife. I told them if they wanted a funeral, it was coming out of their pockets. I will pay for her to be cremated, and deliver her ashes to them in the cheapest inn if they desire. They called me horrible and tried to guilt me about her life insurance, but after only 4 minutes on the phone with them, I hung up and blocked every one of her family members. I'm going to be taking a few extra days off work to move back into my house over the next week. I've already made arrangements to have her stuff hauled off, so my new home will be an empty canvas for me to start a new life. I don't know if there's a God or if this was just karma, but I truly believe now that I have come out on the other side of the storm. Okay, so there is an update, but I have a few thoughts. I can understand why he is doing the things that he's doing and feeling the way that he's feeling. I feel like being cheated on for some people, for a lot of people actually, creates this deep hatred of a person. Like, it's such a deep betrayal. It really crushes everything you believe about that relationship and that person, and it makes you feel stupid and worthless and makes you question your own self, which is just a horrible thing to do to anyone. And then you add the layer of like, she's going after his reputation, his network, his job, and really his ability to move on from this situation. She's destroying that and his whole life. I understand why he feels the way that he does, and why he's like, no, I'm literally just going to put her in the cheapest inn I can find and you can have her. And I think a lot of people would say that's absolutely justified. And maybe it is justified, but I don't think it makes you a good person. I don't know how that will help you sleep at night. I'm just the type of person that comes from the belief that whatever you do is who you are, and whatever I do is what I am, and I don't have to become you, in the sense that I don't have to do terrible things to you because you did terrible things to me. I don't see any harm in giving the money that you got from that life insurance, some of it, not all of it, a little bit of it, to make sure that these people have a good send-off, just so you can, I don't know. Maybe it's something wrong with me in wanting to do that, but I would want to make sure that they have a good send-off and that I did what I could, even if that's not planning it, even if that's just giving her parents, like, here, have some money so that they can throw her some kind of funeral. I don't know. My point is, what you did might have been justified, but every action that you take paints a picture to yourself of who you are. And is that who you want to be, and is that who you want to believe that you are? And for some people, the answer is yeah. You know, yes, I am the type of person that doesn't let somebody walk all over me, and I am the type of person that can stick up for myself in a situation like that and be cold. And to some people, that's something that they wear as like a badge of honor. But for me, I think I would try my best to remain kind in the situation, no matter who I'm interacting with. And but not be pushed over. You know, I wouldn't be like giving them all of the life insurance money, but maybe a little bit of it so that they can throw an okay funeral. But then is it your responsibility to pay for the funeral? I mean, if you hadn't have gotten that life insurance, who would be paying for the funeral then? I think that putting myself in OP's shoes, the thing that would bother me the most is the erasure of the past. What his wife did to him was so traumatic that I feel like just because she passed away doesn't mean that we can pretend that didn't happen. And he's really feeling that. He's like, oh, so you guys want to come to me and talk to me like none of this ever happened? Like she wasn't pregnant with another man, like she wasn't tarnishing my whole life, like she didn't get me fired, like she didn't try and succeed in taking some of my best friends away from me, as if she didn't make it her life's mission to take me out in any way that she could after betraying me for no reason. Like she became my enemy just because I wanted to leave her after she cheated and she got... It's like so much that like that will stay with OP probably till forever. That will affect OP's ability to have and maintain relationships with people in the future. So to just pretend that didn't happen, like she was a great person. Yeah, okay, maybe I wouldn't want to throw the funeral either. Okay. Yeah, no. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Okay, let me know in the comments how you feel about that, because I don't know how I feel about that. Let's have a look at, speaking of comments, let's have a look at some of the comments OP has left. Okay, so replying to a comment, OP says, "Judge me how you will. I will not argue with how my actions influence others' opinions about me. I just know that if the situation were reversed, my wife would be shopping around for a sports car with the life insurance money she collected on me. You're right, I don't like them, but they do deserve her things if they want them. I'll unblock her mum and offer to make arrangements to deliver her stuff wherever she wants. I'm already paying to have it hauled and trashed, so no point in caring where it goes." Okay, so OP is like cold. I don't blame him, but it's just a fact. I don't know who he's referring to in this part of the comment, but he says, "I cut those people out of my life when they turned on me, due to false accusations that I had video evidence to prove wrong. If her lies being exposed in 4K are not enough to convince them, then they are nothing more than anchors to be released into the sea." Wow, very poetic. I think that must be her parents he's talking about, right? "I will be installing cameras at the house tomorrow. The locks have already been repinned. My divorce lawyer has already given me recommendations, and I am meeting with an attorney on Wednesday." Okay, let's just dive straight into the update, because I don't know what the update could be, and I'm very interested to know what it is. I've decided to elaborate on a few common threads I see in the post here, as responding to all the comments would just be too much. Firstly, some are judging me for the way I'm reacting to the death of 3 people. You're right. It's not normal, nor is it healthy. I feel no emotion towards my ex at this point. All my hatred, resentment, and regret evaporated when I learned of her death. I feel nothing but relief right now. This void has slowly consumed me over the past few days. I feel numb, like I'm dreaming, like what happened is not real. This woman made my life a living hell for over a year. She set out to destroy me and would not stop until she did. I do not like the fact that I feel this way over the death of 3 people. But that's not a box that I'm willing to unpack at the moment. Secondly, I have reached out to my ex's mum today, and things are much more civil as of now. I'll pay the hauling company to move her stuff into one of their storage units, and they can figure out the rest. Her mother revealed to me that they cannot afford to host a funeral for my ex. I am 100% the legally beneficiary of her life insurance. Despite my past hatred for her family, I told her mother I will give them a small amount from her life insurance so that they can have a service and arrange a burial. This is contingent on us cutting ties after that, and I will not be involved in any further in her funeral. I will still be talking to a lawyer. Lastly, I am not going to elaborate any further, except the only lives lost was hers, her suitor, and their unborn child. Some are saying I should sell the house. Right now, I only want to return to my home. The details of where I end up, either there or somewhere over the rainbow, are yet to be determined. I do not know what life holds for me, or for any of us. This event happened, maybe for a reason, or maybe the universe was no logic at all. This gift put an end to a period of life that sent me to the brink of destruction. It's morbid to think that the death of 3 people was what pulled me to the other side of life. It's interesting how quickly it can all change, or end. I don't know how I feel about people labeling an update when it's really just an edit. It's really just giving more information. It's not an update. Nothing's updated, except for I guess that, you know, the one small update is that he has changed his mind on the funeral now, that he will take part in it in the way that he will help financially support it. I think there's always this pressure to have an array of negative feelings when a life ends. You have to be sad or angry or numb, or you're heartless. But I think relief is a feeling a lot of people have when somebody passes, whether it's because that person was in pain, or that person was their responsibility in a large way, or that person was destroying their life. I think it will probably be hard for OP to make and maintain relationships from this point forward for 2 reasons, and one being that he was absolutely completely traumatized by his ex-wife, and because people might feel uneasy about the fact that he's not playing the role of the broken-hearted widow. I feel like on the surface the story kind of looks like a guy who was just grateful that she had passed away, and that he took all her life insurance money and it's just moving on with his life. And I think he, in this isolated incident, from a surface level, could look like just a heartless person, because in this situation he is being a heartless person. But many people would say, if they knew the intimate details, that actually that is a very human way to respond in that situation. Anyway, I started it a bit dark, but I think we're gonna go, is this lighter now? This one's really interesting. So this one's also coming from Trueoffmychest, and it is titled "Accidentally Sent a Text to My Husband that was meant for Mark." Okay, come on. About 2 weeks ago, I was on my way out to a work outing with my co-workers where my husband told me he wanted to talk to me. He said he's met someone new and that he wanted to leave me. We've been together for 15 years and married for over 10. We have 2 children together. The feeling I had were mixed relief and immense pain, but mostly relief. We haven't been happy for at least 3 years, and besides the naughty naps and the children, we have nothing in common anymore. We live 2 completely different and separate lives, but under the same roof. I felt relief that one of us was courageous enough to pull the plug. I can't explain why I felt the pain though. He talked about how we were going to do this, the children, the house, etc. He said that he had found a 1-bedroom and that he was moving out until everything was settled. I could keep the house, etc. When he was finished, I was about an hour late to the outing. I ordered an Uber and chose to wait for it outside. I got a text from one of my co-workers, Mark, that I was late. It wasn't even fashionable anymore. I took my phone to answer him, but I guess I got a text from my husband at the same time, so I texted him instead. I texted him, "Oh, Mark, you don't know the half of it. My husband was dumping me, so that took a minute. I guess I'm free now." And the laughing emoji. "Tell you more when I see you. I'm on my way." That's... oh god. Since the beginning of the year, many of my co-workers were splitting and getting a divorce. We were saying that our department was being cursed, until Mark, the most recent one to separate, still going through the divorce, jokingly said, "It wasn't a curse, it was freedom." I was referring to that, but my husband, who got the text instead of Mark, was angry about how indifferent I was to start joking 5 minutes after I was just told my 15-year relationship was over. I explained about the curse to him, but he didn't care to listen. Now he is refusing to move out and has gone back on the divorce. He doesn't speak to me and refuses to answer when I ask, when is he moving out? One of the last conversations we had, he told me that he was planning on being generous with me during the divorce, but now he's going to take me for everything I've got and everything I've held dear. I told him that he can't, because it's my freedom that I held dear. He slapped me hard across the face. This is the first time he ever done this. Later, I heard him crying in the bathroom. I'm 42, my husband is 45, and our children are 12 and 11-year-old boys. Should I apologise about the text? It wasn't meant for him, but still. Why does he care when he's already moving on? That last line sums it up for me. Why does he care when he's already moving on? He's already met someone. He hasn't had the courage to pull the plug like she assumed. He'd met someone and decided, all right, now I'll leave my wife, I guess, and now I'll date this. What does he say? Oh, there's an edit. Wait. I need to clarify a few things. Yes, my husband has someone new. He wasn't lying about it. A 25, 26-year-old that he works with. I don't know if he's sleeping with her or just falling in love with her, therefore was asking for a divorce before acting on his feelings. I believe it's the latter. He has a rented apartment and he was going to move out after telling me. He hasn't yet. I can't move out because I want to be with my children. And then her second edit is, no, I am not having an affair with Mark. It happened that he was the one texting me when I ran late to the work outing. But I've been talking to him about what happened and he somewhat feels guilty. We're a bit closer now, but I'm not a cheater, and even if something happened between me and Mark, I'm waiting until the divorce. So you like Mark. Just say it, you like Mark. Or at least the separation is public. If the divorce drags out for years, like my husband now seems to want, I have self-respect and I have my boys to think about, so I would never cheat, neither physically nor emotionally. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, he has some 25-year-old that he's seeing or maybe wanting to see, and that's why he's decided to leave. Not because he has any kind of courage to leave a situation that he's not happy in without a little bit of motivation of a reward. I think that would upset me anyway. The fact that he's met some 25-year-old and that's the reason that he's leaving. But what really, really peeves me about this situation is the fact that he doesn't want her to find someone. He doesn't want her to be okay with the situation. He thought that this situation was going to rip her guts out, that this was going to be so earth-shattering to her that he wants to leave. And when she was kind of nonchalant about it, I can understand being hurt. If she was nonchalant about it and he's like, we have been together for 15 years and this doesn't bother you, I understand that. What I don't understand is I'm going to drag my feet on this divorce. I'm not leaving this house. I'm going to make your life horrific because you didn't act the way I wanted you to when I said I was going to leave. That is what makes me know that your husband is someone you need to leave immediately. Also, it feels very controlling in the way that he's like, I'm not leaving. As if he feels like she doesn't have autonomy. I guess he knows that that the kids are at home so she won't leave. But, give her long enough and she'll find a way. She'll find a way to get out of there and take the kids. So you don't have as much control as you think you do in this situation, buddy. And he obviously thinks she's seeing Mark and he's obviously jealous about that as well, which is ridiculous because he's wanting to or is seeing some 25-year-old woman. Okay. Update. I have found a new apartment for me and my children. Moving in September. Filing for divorce. I swear to God I haven't read this. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious. If you put someone in a situation like that, you think that she's like just going to crumble. No, she's going to find a way. Update on my situation. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to inform you that I found an apartment that's going to be available in September. I'm really relieved because now I don't have to feel like I'm trapped with an ex who doesn't even know what he wants. I'm filing for divorce when I moved out with my children. And hopefully he's going to be civil. Unfortunately, I had to be the one telling my children we're separating because he refused to break the news together with me. Oh, no. So he's a bad dad too? I feel like that's a united front situation. Hey, we're breaking up, but we're still getting along. It's so sad when somebody can't just get along for the kids in the most civil, not even friendship way. Do you know what I mean? That you can't even show up for your kids and just show up for your kids. Literally, that's all you have to do is be there and talk with the other person. Show that there's no animosity. But no, he's a child, obviously. My heart is broken and I've been crying ever since. The look in their eyes of being let down made me regret getting to this stage in our relationship without trying to fix it. My youngest asked me if he could do something to fix it, maybe be a better son. God, I hope they forgive us for breaking up their home. My husband is acting very weird. He's apologized profusely for hurting me, and he is trying to initiate intimacy with me, and I find it weird and so wrong. He also told me his new girl wants children, and he doesn't. He did have a vasectomy after our children, so I don't know how he's going to do it. You can reverse a vasectomy. Did you know that? Just saying. He also talked about her moving into our home if I left. I told him that he needed to think about our sons. I'm not allowing him to introduce a new person in their life so fast and without it being in a serious relationship. He asked me why I was jealous, and I told him that I wasn't. I just don't want my children to experience instability, so if he's going to let her move in, the children will be staying with me until his relationship is serious. Wait, hold up, pause. So he has a new girlfriend, but he's trying to initiate intimacy with you? But he wants her to move in when you move out? This guy sounds like he sounds like he's trying to make you jealous, that he's maybe rushing that relationship that he's in so that you'll get spooked and want to work things out. So look, he's already having problems with this new girl before they even move in together, and he wanted her in my son's lives. He said again that I was jealous, so I dropped it. Finally, he asked me where we went wrong. I couldn't answer him at first, but then I told him, we were probably never right. You hit your wife. Maybe it took you 15 years to show your real self, but you did it in the end, and I would never have loved a man who hit his wife. So we were never right. He cried. Okay, that's the end of that story. Oh wow, she really hit that deep. I mean, she's not wrong. There are some things that happen that people do in relationships that reveal a side to them that makes you realize, oh, this is nothing that I signed up for. This is not something I'm going to stick around for. And after 15 years to put your foot down like that, incredible. This guy, I don't know how she was with him for 15 years. He sounds like a childish, selfish, controlling person, really. And I hope her and her kids have a great life in that apartment and she meets someone. I mean, I want the update on Mark. Did you get with Mark? I think, she said there was nothing going on with her and Mark, and I believe her. But I think that the fact that he's even concerned about how late she is to a work get together sounds like he was a bit worried she wasn't going to show up. Sounds like he was looking forward to seeing her that night. Okay, last story. This one is coming from r/Relationshipadvice, and it is titled, How do I, 37 male, get my wife, 35 female, to trust me? Ooh. Okay, this first sentence, I don't really know what it means, but I'm going to read it anyway. Hey everyone, I'm currently with my wife's lack of trust in me. We've been together a total of 12 years. 7 of those years married. In the course of our 12-year relationship, I cheated twice. Now this is 2 times too many, but not to the point where you would consider me a serial cheater. One thing about me, unfortunately, is I don't have the greatest resistance skills. What I mean by that is I never initiate things, but if an attractive girl comes up to me, then it's over. You know what I mean? Like one of my coworkers, I don't know how he does it, but there is this one girl who is the hottest person I've ever seen, and she wants him bad, but he's loyal to his girlfriend, and they're long distance. I told him, bro, we would understand if you tapped that, but he's just like, nah. But I don't have the level of self-control, unfortunately. That's why I have to set boundaries with myself. My first cheating was 10 years ago. Now again, I never initiate first while in a relationship, but this girl at the gym I used to run with started hitting on me, and it was over. My wife, girlfriend at the time, found out, and I had to fight like hell to save our relationship. I set boundaries and wouldn't hang out with girls alone that I could see myself sleeping with if the opportunity presented itself. I also assured her if I ever cheated or even crossed her boundaries, I would tell her. She will never have to find out from a third party ever again. Now last month, I messed up and ended up cheating. I immediately told my wife. She's now acting as if I'm a serial cheater. She's trying to adopt some very harsh measures. She said she doesn't want me hanging out with women one-on-one outside of work. This has some complications because I have women friends where it's purely platonic. Now from my wife's perspective, she feels she doesn't trust when I say this relationship is purely platonic because she thought that the person I cheated with was purely platonic, and then I slept with her. Now I'm going to explain why this is a bad example. So in this case, I did tell my wife this was a platonic thing and I'm not attracted to her. But this is an unusual instance. So the girl I cheated with, she's one of the military liaisons at work. To be honest, she has a below average face, and in uniform I couldn't really tell what her body looked like. We hung out, and then I seen her outside of the military uniform, and she had a body out of this world. She started flirting and things got out of hand, and then we hooked up. I should have considered that seeing her in regular clothes might make me see her differently. Still, my wife is trying to set these terribly restrictive rules that impact my other relationships. The thing is, I have had other opportunities to cheat. I reject them, cut them off, and then tell my... Normally, like I said, I'm very good at making sure that the women I hang around with are people I don't find attractive. This was just a weird case. I need help explaining this to her. I kind of love this guy, and I know I shouldn't. He's terrible. He's a horrible, horrible, horrible human being. But I kind of... Why do I kind of like him? He's just so stupid. I love stupid people. I can't even, like, you can't even take it seriously because of... It just feels like he's so unaware of the impact of what he's doing, which is so not funny for his wife, but it's so funny. It's so funny. And it's also so weird. It's so weird and funny that he thinks that he has no control over his actions. And also so strange that he has no emotional connection to attraction, it feels like. He's like, I've seen this girl's face. He never mentions her personality. He met this girl. He's been friends with her for a long while. And then she's just like wearing a certain uniform. And then as soon as she takes it off, he's like, oh no, I am attracted to you. Oh my god. And why did she immediately start flirting with him too? It just sounds, it's so stupid. It's like movie characters. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to have some kind of like deep philosophical take, but I don't. It's just so stupid. And his wife needs to leave him. I don't know why she's staying with him and putting extra rules on him, but I feel like I do feel like that's in every other relationship, wrong reaction. You leave, you don't control people. But here he is literally saying, I just need parameters. I just need to put some rules in place and I won't cheat. Which never works for anyone ever, but it seems to be working for him because he didn't for like 10 years. And then he's like, damn, my full safe plan has been ruined by a military costume, by a military uniform. He's like, I wish I would have thought this through. Okay, hey, my camera just died for the second time filming. I just have to do the outro, so I'm not going to turn it on again. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to see you, to serve you with new stories 3 times a week. Come, join the family. Bye.